She appeared on the show nearly 100 times. She was his most trusted guest host. And then one phone call changed everything. For almost 30 years, she was completely erased from The Tonight Show. And she wasn't alone. The Tonight Show has been America's most powerful stage since 1954. One appearance could launch a career overnight. But cross the wrong host, and those doors would slam shut forever. Today, we're uncovering the true stories of two stars who found out exactly what happens when you betray The Tonight Show's most sacred rules. Guest number 1, Joan Rivers. For over 20 years, Joan Rivers was one of the most beloved guests on The Tonight Show. She first appeared in 1965, and it was Johnny Carson who discovered her. He became her mentor, her protector, almost like a father figure. And by 1983, she had earned the highest honor Carson could give anyone. She became his permanent guest host. But in 1986, everything changed. Fox Television, a brand new network, came to Rivers with an offer she couldn't refuse. $10 million, her own late-night show, and she would become the first woman in history to host a major network late-night show. It was a dream come true. There was just one problem. Carson learned about the show from Fox, not from Rivers herself. When she finally called him to share the news, he picked up the phone, and then he hung up. She called back. He hung up again. And he never spoke to her again. To Carson, it was a complete betrayal. The ban was immediate and total. The Tonight Show team made it clear that anyone appearing on Rivers' new show would also be banned from Carson's Tonight Show. A-list celebrities stopped returning her calls overnight. Her Fox show struggled from day one and collapsed after just 7 months. And then tragedy struck. Her husband, Edgar Rosenberg, who had produced the show, died by suicide just 3 months after they were both fired. Rivers was banned from The Tonight Show for the rest of Carson's tenure and through the entire runs of Jay Leno and Conan O'Brien. That ban lasted nearly 30 years, until February 17th, 2014. On Jimmy Fallon's very first night as host, an 81-year-old Joan Rivers walked back onto that stage for the first time since 1986. Just months later, she passed away. She never got the full reconciliation she wanted, but at least she got to come home. Guest number 2, Howard Stern. If Joan Rivers' story was about betrayal, then Howard Stern's story is about something else entirely. It's about a man who walked into someone else's house and completely blew it up. By 1995, Howard Stern was untouchable. His book, Miss America, had just sold 120,000 copies in its very first week, debuting at number 1 on the New York Times bestseller list. He was the self-proclaimed king of all media. And Jay Leno wanted those ratings. So he invited Stern onto The Tonight Show. That was a mistake. On November 30th, 1995, Howard Stern walked onto that famous stage with 2 bikini-clad adult film stars, Nikki Tyler and Janine Lindemulder. The audience went absolutely wild. And then Stern pushed further. He announced to the entire audience that they were about to witness The Tonight Show's first lesbian kiss. The women kissed. Then Stern had one of them bend over to be spanked. On camera. On live television, Jay Leno was visibly uncomfortable. He kept telling Stern over and over, "It will all be edited out." But Stern wasn't done. When film critics Gene Siskel and Roger Ebert came out for their segment, Stern and the women stayed on stage. And Stern began sucking one of the women's toes while the crowd went completely out of control. That was the breaking point. Leno walked off and ended the show early. The entire segment was edited before it aired that same night. Backstage, Leno screamed at Stern's producer that Stern had, quote, cheated in his house. The next morning, Leno called into Stern's radio show and told him he had gone beyond the acceptable standards. Stern fired back, saying Leno was being too uptight. After that night, Stern was never invited back to The Tonight Show again. Years later, Leno did reach out and offered Stern a chance to come back and clear the air. Stern refused. Two legends, one chaotic night, and a band that outlasted them both. And that is the dark side of The Tonight Show. Two legends, two very different stories, but the same result, banned forever. If this story blew your mind, smash that like button. And subscribe, because more secrets like this are coming. And comment below whose story shocked you more, Joan or Howard.